Hello everyone, welcome to my online classroom. And in this video today we are going to discuss about the class 9 history chapter 4 forest society and colonialism. As we already know students that in history we have to complete only 4 chapters in class 9. First it is your French Revolution, second Russian Revolution, third Nazism and fourth one it is your forest society and colonialism. So let's start this video and here I am going to present one flowchart in front of you. So by the flowchart you can understand what are the main content you have to prepare for your exam, as well as I am going to give you the important questions which is related to this chapter. So in this way we are going to complete this whole chapter. So let's start the video. So first of all, under this chapter 4 forest society and colonialism, under the flowchart we have first heading, it is introduction. Okay, so in introduction what are the main points we are going to discuss? It is in this chapter we will study about the effects of colonialism on the forest, people and the efforts made by the national government to help forest communities and increase the area under forest. So this is the main concept of this whole chapter. Second heading we have importance of forest resources. So what is the importance of forest resources in our life? That we are going to discuss, because forest is the natural resource. And let's see what are the things we found in the forest. First of all, as we very well know, they means here forest resources, they maintain the ecosystem which sustains life. The wood that we get from the forest is important for building and construction purposes, for domestic furniture and for fuel. Third, we have the raw materials for paper industry, matchmaking and sports material are mainly derived from the forest. Apart of that, we are getting sandalwood, gums, resins, all these products we are getting through the forest resources. Next, we have grass grown in forest is also used for grazing the cattle like sheep, camels, etc. So as a fodder we are using when there is a shortage of fodder for the animals. So that time this grass is helpful for feeding the animals. Next point we have, they help in controlling soil erosion. Even they provide natural environment for wildlife. They help in enhancing the quantity of rainfall. So in this way we have discussed right now importance of forest resources. What are the importance of forest resources in our life? Next is here in exam, if suppose the question will become, write down the importance or uses of forest resources. So that time also you can write this answer, even if they will ask significance of forest resources. So question maybe they will ask in a different way, but your answer will be same. Next part we have, next point, it is colonialism and deforestation. How during the colonialism when Britishers ruled in our country, so that time or any and colonialism means when one country is going to rule on the another country, so that is known as the colonialism. So here how the colonialism is related to the deforestation in India, so that we are going to discuss under this heading. Like, people have been using forests and their products since ages long ago, but their use was limited to their needs and not to their greed. So ecological balance continued to be maintained. But the exploitation of forests that began with colonialism, especially in the 18th, 19th and the early 20th century, led to the disappearance and destruction of forests, which is referred to as deforestation. Next, we have the heading, what is the reason behind of deforestation? So here, like, forests were unproductive according to the imperialist past. So according to the imperialist past, under the colonialism, so they thought that forests were unproductive, and that's why they don't want forests, and that's why they follow the pattern of deforestation, cutting of trees. Second, we have decline in forest area due to agricultural expansion. Day by day when people started to do agriculture, because agriculture gives a good production, so that's why most of the forests were being declined and they were being deforested. Next we have the third, it is decline in forest cover due to railways. As railways played a vital role in the decline of forest cover in India, wood was used as fuel to run locomotives and sleepers were required to hold tracks together. So that's why day by day these forests were being declined. Next we have decline in forest cover due to shipbuilding. So for the construction for the Royal Navy, a large number of sleepers began to be exported to England annually. This further led to the indiscriminate cutting of trees year after year. If the imperial power was to be protected and maintained, the building of ships was the first priority. One feels surprised how under such an exploitation the trees survived in India. Next heading we have decline in forest area due to commercial farming. So what do you mean by commercial farming? Whenever we are growing any kind of crop for earning money, immediate selling those crops and we are getting money. So only for earning money when we are growing this kind of crop, so it is known as the commercial farming. So under this commercial farming, of course under the colonialism, they started to do commercial farming to earn more profits. They are growing this kind of crops in India and then they were sell all this kind of crops in other countries. So in this way also income is coming. So under these they were growing tea and coffee kind of crops. Like as already we had discussed, the allotment of vast forest areas to European plantation owners further led to the reduction of forest areas. Next we have decline in forest cover due to Adivasis users. So it is believed that the Adivasis or the tribal community they believe this thing that the forest is a natural home for them and whatever things are be available in the forest that is only for them and they want to utilize them. For this purpose, day by day they are utilizing whatever things is be present in forest, but under the colonialism, the Britishers, they don't like all this kind of things. They thought it is our property, not the Adivasis property. So like in spite of the different forest laws, the Adivasis and other peasant users, whenever they found any opportunity, continued cutting trees for cooking their food, for making their plow, implements and constructing their houses. They were sometimes caught by the forest staff but were later on let off after paying some bribes. So in this way, here also due to Adivasis users, there is a decline in forest cover. Next we have the main heading. So whatever I have mentioned with the capital letters, it is your main headings and under that whatever ABC point is with here, that is your subheadings. Next we have effects of war on forest. So what were the effects of war on forest? In the modern times, if we are going to discuss, the defending armies hide themselves and their war material under the cover of the thick forces to avoid detection. Next, because of preoccupation of the participant countries in the war, many proposals for promoting the forest culture have to be abandoned halfway as such many forests became prey of neglect. Next, to meet war needs, sometimes forests are cut indiscriminately and as a result forests vanished within no time one after the other. Next heading we have effects of changes in forest management on the people. So what are the changes, Valvidya? First we have the effects of changes in forest management on shifting cultivators. Second we have effect on nomadic and pastoralist communities, and third we have the effect on plantation workers. So on the basis of these three headings we are going to, when I am going to explain this chapter line to line in my next video, so please watch those videos also. There line to line explain, I will explain, by that you can be easily understand what is the main concept here. Next we have the similarities of colonial management in Bastar and Java. So in this chapter, as we very well know, NCERT books, they contain different kind of real stories, and through their stories they are explaining the chapter. So here also we have the two story of the Bastar, which is in India or village, the story of the Bastar village, and second we have the Java, which is situated in the Indonesia and island country. So let's start what their conditions, the similarities of colonial management in Bastar and Java, that in their countries how the colonies ruled, and because of that how they control their forest area, especially the areas which is belongs to the tribal communities of these places. So how so here similarities is mentioned. So similarities is be here exploitation of the people of Bastar by the Britishers, how the British people exploited the people of Bastar village, as well as the exploitation of the people of Java by the Dutch community. Okay, so here we have in India British colonial management, however rule, and in Java there is the Dutch colonial management. Next we have necessity of increasing the forest area. Today's in life, what is the importance of forest? We have understand this thing, what is the importance of natural resources. So for this purpose in this chapter also, there is a necessity of increasing the forest area. So what are the main points here which we have to be discussed? First we have the maintaining the ecological balance. As we very well know, it is necessary for maintaining the ecological balance and absorption of carbon dioxide. Second, here providing natural habitat to wildlife. As we very well know, forests provide natural habitat to wildlife, and in this way they help in their preservation. Third we have forests help in rainfall. Of course, Forests help in precipitation of rainfall, thereby minimizing the incidence of droughts. Next, we have regulating the flows of rivers. So, forests regulate the flow of rivers both in the rainy and dry seasons by observing or releasing water systematically. Next, we have the conservation of the soil. So, forests also play an important role in the conservation of soils, as the roots of the trees don't allow the soil to flow away with the water, because the trees roots, they hold the top layer, their roots hold the top layer of the soil which contains humus, and because of that the soil is not be eroded, the top layer is not be eroded, which contains humus, which is known as the real fertility of the soil. So in this way, the plants, the forest area is helpful in all these fields, on all these things. Next, we have the measures to conserve forest and increase in the forest area. So what are the steps we have to do by our own as well as by the government to conserve our forest and increase in the forest area? So first of all, as a citizen, as a responsible person, of course, what we have to do, we have to stop the cutting of trees. Okay, what we have to do is stop the cutting of trees. It means deforestation. A part of the deforestation, what we have to do, we have to do afforestation. It means plant more and more trees. Deforestation means cutting of trees, and afforestation means plant more and more trees. Second, we have people on their part also cooperate to check the felling of trees. Okay, so whenever somewhere if someone is cutting the trees, so how you are going to protect them? So take the example of the Chipko movement. Okay, they some people in our country, especially in Uttarakhand, it was started first of all. So they have started movements like the Chipko movement to check the careless felling of trees in the forest. So if someone is coming to cut any tree, so what they are doing, they are going to be stick with that tree so that they will not cut that particular tree. So it is known as the Chipko movement. And next we have, it is started to save the trees. Next we have where the trees, sorry, spelling is I'm going to correct it. So trees have being cut, new trees should be planted. So anywhere if trees is going to be cut down, so what you have to do, you have to plant a new tree there. Next we have functions like Van Mahotsav should be celebrated every year. So functions like to protect or to conserve the forest, it is a responsibility, and some kind of functions like Van Mahotsav. So you can understand by the meaning of this word. One means forest and Mahotsav means a kind of celebration, okay, like festival. So in this way, in this particular moment or in this celebration, what we have to do, we have to plant more and more trees. So it is this kind of functions, this kind of celebration also we have to be celebrate everywhere. Next we have the scientific forestry. So what do you mean by the scientific forestry? Forest activities carried on scientific lines is called scientific forestry. The following steps have been taken in the new scheme of scientific forestry. So what are the steps? Okay, what under which we are talking about the scientific lines. So first, natural forests which had lots of different types of trees were cut down. Second, in their place, one type of trees were planted. Such trees were cut down in a systematic manner, and in their place, new trees were replanted to cut down again after a few years. So this scientific forestry is implemented in India by the Britishers under the colonialism. Next we have the forest and environmental policy of the government in the 8th, 9th and 10th 5-year plans and their impact. So this is the last heading of this chapter. So what are the main points is be included by the government to conserve the forest and environment? So that they have mentioned under the forest and environmental policy, and after every 5-year plans they are making. So in that they have they have mentioned in the 8th, 9th and 10th 5-year plans, and their impact is what. So that is the important which you will read in this chapter. Next is we have to discuss some questions, important question which is related to this chapter. First question is be given, write any 3 advantage of the forest. Okay, so here they ask for the importance or whatever you are getting from the forest. What is the role of forest in your life? Second is here, why did the people of Bastar rise in revolt against the British? So what is the story behind of that? Why the people of the Bastar, the tribal community, they rise and a revolt against the Britishers? Next is here, which factors contributed to the decline of the forest cover between 1880 to 1920? Fourth question we have, write 2 steps taken under the new scheme of scientific forestry. So whatever points right now we have discussed under the scientific forestry, that you have to mention here. Next question we have here, write 3 measures to conserve forest. What 3 things you will do to conserve forest? That it is we had already discussed Now, last question we have defined plantation. So, what do you mean by plantation? Whenever on a large piece of land with the use of modern technology, we are growing a single kind of crop or any kind of crop only for selling purpose. So, it is known as a plantation. So, only one kind of crop we grow on a large piece of land with the help of the modern technology. Okay, so that is we had done. And in this chapter, of course, the story of Basta and the story of Java is very important. So, what is the story behind of that? Actually, how the people in that village, how they were being exploited by the Britishers. That is the main concept related to this. So, like the if I am going to talk about this Basta village, so here how they have done the exploitation of the people of Basta by the British. So, in Basta, the British government stopped. So in Basta, this Basta village is situated, located in the Chhattisgarh state. In Basta, the British government stopped shifting cultivation, hunting and collection of forest produce. Already the people were suffering from increased land rents, frequent demands for free labor and goods by colonial officials. Soon the people of Bastar organized themselves. In 1910. They raised a standard of revolt against the British. Bazaars were looted and houses of British officials were robbed and set on fire. Those associated with the colonial rulers like traders, policemen, government, servants, etc. were also not spared. Though the rebellion was suppressed within 3 months, it put a check on the reservation policy of the British government. The work on reservation was temporarily suspended as the area to be reserved was reduced to half of that planned before 1910. So here, the people, those who live in the Bastar village, especially the tribal community, they were banned to utilize anything, whatever they are, before of that they are using, they are taking the material from the forest area. Now they all are banned. They were not allowed to collect the fruits. They were not allowed to collect the roots from the forest area. They were not allowed to feed their animals by the grazing process. So all these activities were be banned. They were not allowed to do shifting cultivation there. Hunting was not be allowed. So all the collection of the forest produce, whatever it is with their honey, is with their fruits, roots. So all these things will be banned. So because of that, because the people of this village or the forest areas, they believe that forest is the actual home for them, and whatever things the nature has been given there, that they have the right to use them. But who the Britishers, because Britishers want to earn more profit, that's why they ban slowly all the movements of the Bastar or the in the Bastar village, the tribal community movement. And because of that, the Bastar village, in the Bastar village, whatever the tribal community live there, they face this kind of problems. So that's why finally they start a revolt against of the Britishers. And same story is related to the Java also here. Similar was the case with Java, an island of Indonesia. Over the same period, like the British, the Dutch in Java wanted timber to build their ships. In order to do that, they enacted many laws which restricted villagers' access to forests. As early as 1770, the colons revolted against the reservation policy of the Dutch, attacked a Dutch fort at Johanna, though the uprising was easily suppressed. Under the new laws, whenever, because these people, those who are the Britishers like the Dutch, so what they are doing, they are making new kind of laws. Okay, forest law they are making. And here in this chapter also we will read different laws. By that they have banned all these activities of the tribal community. So under the new laws, what they are doing, their villagers were punished for grazing cattle in the forest, transporting wood without permit or traveling on forest roads with horse, carts and cattle. The Dutch first imposed rents, it means tax on lands being cultivated in the forest, and later on exempted certain villagers from these rents if they provided free labor in cutting and transporting timber. Still later, instead of rent, exemption means free, it means they will not give the tax. Those who will be agree to do free labor on their farms or on their plantation areas. Villagers were given small wages, but right to cultivate forest land was restricted. So these villagers, they were forced to do work on their plantation areas. They were getting small wages, but they were not allowed. They don't have the right to cultivate forest land. It was totally restricted. If they will do, so of course they were getting punishment. So in this way, these are the main important points which is I have mentioned. We have discussed through this flowchart, and in this way we have completed the chapter 4 of history, forest society and colonialism. So thank you everyone, and please like, share and subscribe this channel for more updates.